Okay, so astrology time today is it's Saturday, February 14th. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, right? Yeah, I hope you get some little gifts of affection, right? I'll throw you some affection right here. Mwah. There you go. So anyway, I do appreciate and love every single one of you that do listen to this. And I really do appreciate notes. I'm going to get circled back around to this towards the end of this because I got quite a good one yesterday that really was just kind of heartwarming. So it's Saturday and the moon is in Capricorn and it continues wrapping things up energy until about 8:31 here on the East Coast, 8:31 p.m. because that's how we roll here. Now, that is when the moon is void of course for the rest of the evening. It's not going to go into Aquarius until Sunday morning early. So this is not a time for new beginnings. Exactly, because it's a void of course moon. Essentially, the week is complete. We've done our best, and tonight we can give ourselves a break, and it comes with a little surprise at the end, right? Say yes to dessert. And today's keyword is tasty. Why not? So, the color is illuminated wood. It's kind of neat. Now, think incandescent lighting on wood-paneled walls or something like that, or up against a bookcase or something like that. That's where I'm going with that. We continue to go down the path that we set out on yesterday. Just trying to get stuff done. Despite having both Venus and Mercury in Pisces, I'm not really the sentimental type, but with both of these planets in Pisces, I'm kind of into this Valentine's Day. Now, when your natal planets go back into a position where they were in your natal chart, that's called a return. So think of it this way. Your solar return is actually your birthday. So this, for me, is a Mercury and Venus return. They were actually conjunct at somewhere between 14 and 17 degrees of Pisces in my chart. Now, the transpersonal planets, that would be Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they don't do this because their orbits are longer than human lifespans. One of the ways they influence us are through transiting aspects to their natal positions. And this gets us into the weeds of personal charts. Now, what's the point of all this? Okay, so we may be feeling the celebration of love a bit more thanks to both Mercury and Venus being in Pisces. Over the last couple of years, we seem to have had them either be retrograde or something like that, so they weren't really quite in that together. But right now they are. And so that's interesting. Very much mimics what my chart is. So we may be feeling this celebration of love just a bit more, right? So look, yesterday, that was pretty brilliant. One aspect of what I personally accomplished was I finalized a home improvement project, and now I have roughly a month to prepare for it. And it's kind of fun because it's going to allow me to get a jump on spring cleaning and getting some things done, and it's going to set me up nicely for the warmer months. So, here's my question for you. What have you managed to set up? What did you manage to get done yesterday? Leave it in the comments below. That's always nice. Now, the odd thing about the sun in Aquarius is the level of emotional detachment that Aquarian people are capable of. The moon in Capricorn is causing us to intuitively override this Aquarius wiring, this trait, right? Because it trickles down a little bit. You know, the sun's in the season, and we all get a little bit like, oh, you know, it's how we don't let winter bother us, right? Or maybe, or, you know, in a grander sense, it's just how we just go about doing the business that we have to do after the holidays, and we're leading up to Valentine's Day. So, think about that. The moon in Capricorn, we override that, and she's throwing her lot behind using tech to get the job done quicker. That's what we really want to do. We want to be able to use this stuff so that we can move into something a bit more pleasant and pleasurable. And that's what the key thing is we want to do today. We want to, whatever we're doing, we need to wrap it up. We need to use all the little tricks and stuff we have to make sure that it doesn't intrude into the evening. But if it does, that's okay. Because, you know, it's interesting because being able to celebrate Valentine's Day, this occasion of Valentine's Day, is a byproduct of what our hard work, Capricorn spirit, right, has resulted in. And today we indulge in the sweet flavors of the day. Now, hopefully you've left room for dessert. There is a slight twist that will come just as the moon is void of course. It could even be work-related. Now, if you happen to get a call or called in or something like that, it's worth remembering that, that rather than dampen the spirit, remember, it's your hard work that made this possible in the first place. And so just roll with it. That's usually a good way to go about it. All right, so on Wednesday, I gave an event with a gentleman that did some did photographic processes, not daguerreotypes, because that was Louis Daguerre. It was John. It was a scientist with 4 names. I looked it up earlier, and it's slipping my mind right now. But, he was a pioneer in a lot of different things. He was a polymath, one of those people that are good at doing a lot of things. And one of the things that he brought about was spectroscopy. And I had somebody who's a chemist that does spectroscopy saying, hey, I didn't even realize that this guy was actually a pioneer in this field. And thank you for saying that. That was Honey Green. I believe it's 1766 on YouTube. And I really appreciate that comment. And thank you so much because it's great reaching out to all sorts of people with all sorts of backgrounds and levels of education and technical education, technical expertise and everything like that. So it's really, really cool to see somebody vibing on, the innovative spirit of what we're talking about, and then also appreciating the little historical footnote. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Honey Green. And the rest of you, keep those comments coming, right? I just love engaging with all that stuff. Now, in 1747, the astronomer James Bradley presents his discovery of the wobbling motion of the Earth at the axis. That's right. To the Royal Society of London. Now, this wobbling motion, we kind of covered this last year because maybe even 2 years ago. But this is called nutation. And that wobble is actually what makes the nodes of the moon shift around in that 18.9 year cycle, 18.7, somewhere around there. It's around 18. It's not quite 19, but it's more than 18 year cycle that we just began with when the nodes moved into Pisces. And now that first phase of that first 18 months, remember, it's about 18 months for where the eclipses take place, where the moon is lining up on the ecliptic of the sun and the earth. Because of that wobble, that's why we're almost to that point, because the next new moon is going to be a solar eclipse in Aquarius. So that's coming up very, very soon, within 3 days, right? So that's nutation for you. And that is the mechanic behind why those nodes move, okay? It doesn't on a chart. It's a representation of what we have, but we have those eclipses happening in all the various signs, the various sectors of the sky. So, and our birth is a mathematician. He's born in 1917, Herbert Hauptmann. He's an American mathematician whose models for determining chemical crystal structures vital for life revolutionized chemistry. Now, this guy's kind of interesting. He's a mathematician, right? When he was at University of Buffalo, towards the later part of his career, he actually was an adjunct professor of computer sciences, as well as being a mathematician and a theoretical scientist in chemistry, right? There was some issues with X-rays, and he figured out how to get these things so that they didn't have issues anymore. Kind of interesting. He won a Nobel Prize for his discovery in 1985. Born in New York City, died in 2011, and that is all I have for you. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate and love every single one of you. Happy Valentine's Day. If I had 2 hands, I'd give you the heart thing right there, just a little heart sign. Blow kisses to everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate and love every single one of you. have fun. Today is a 7. Happy astrocatting.